Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is doing good this morning. Hope everybody's feeling good this morning. This morning is a new day. This morning is a new opportunity for life, new opportunity to grab life, new opportunity to seize life. Um, this morning we have a chance to see things from a different light, to see things from a different perspective. This morning we have a chance to embrace life. Um, I praise God for waking me up this morning. And even though my eyes are doing bad, glossy, I don't like how they feel. Uh, but nonetheless, we still give God glory. So this morning we are going to step into this week, and we're going to look at Cam. So I don't get fined. How you doing this morning? We are going to challenge ourselves this week. This week is all about challenge. And what do you think about when you think of challenge? What goes on in your mind when you think about a challenge? A challenge is when someone tests your ability, when someone goes against what you think, when someone opposes you. That's what a challenger is. That's what a challenge does. A challenge is made for you to see things from a different light, to see things from a different perspective, and for you to try to compete against it, to combat it. That's what a challenge does. That's why you have a challenger. So this morning we're going to take a look at different ways that we can challenge ourselves this week. This week is all about challenge, and the reason why I decided to go with challenge this week is because sometimes we don't like to challenge ourselves. We end up being very complacent. We get complacent at our jobs, complacent in our weight loss, complacent in life. We don't like to make the effort. We don't like to put our best foot forward because we're nervous and we're scared of the outcome. Sometimes we rather run from a challenge than to face it head on. And the reason why we run from a challenge is because we just don't want to face it. We just don't want to be in front of that challenge. See, a lot of times, especially with my way of thinking, I'm often challenged. I'm often challenged. I'm challenged by people who want to test my ability. I'm challenged by people who want to look at things, and when I give my perspective, they automatically attack me. And instead of me running from the attack, I go to it head on. The reason why I go to the attack head on is because I don't want to feel like I'm running away from a challenge. I'm not the type to run away from no challenge. In fact, I'm the type to go straight forward to a challenge because I want to challenge myself. I want to test my abilities. I want to see how good I become. I want to see how bad I fail. There are times you can't be scared to go for a challenge. You can't be scared by going for a challenge. You have to be willing to step up and to step forward and to take on all challenges. All comers, you have to be able to take them on. When it comes to your spiritual walk, you will be challenged every day. Every single day of your life, you will be challenged. And the reason why is because life is always going to challenge you. And because we have an opposition, an antagonist, an enemy in the devil, he will always try to challenge you. Challenge your ability, challenge your faith, challenge your heart to see if you are going to fail miserably. Because at the end of the day, that's what he wants. He wants you to fail. He wants you to throw in the towel. He wants you to say that you can't do it. He wants you to say that, you know what, I gave him my best shot, and that was the best I could do. He wants you to fail. And believe it or not, there are people that are around you that also want you to fail. We live in a very crab-like society. Have you ever seen crabs in a bucket? Crabs in a bucket will walk over each other, will crawl over each other just to get out. And when one is even close enough to get out, they will grab that crab, bring it back to the barrel and even to the bottom of the barrel. And then that crab has to start over. That's the type of society we live in. That's the type of people that surrounds us. So this morning, I want us to focus, because this week it's going to be all about challenges. What kind of challenge can you provide to yourself? What kind of challenge can you make to yourself? And are you prepared for challenges? Let's pray. Father God, we just want to thank you, Lord, for allowing us this opportunity this morning to spend time in your word. We'd like to thank you, Lord God, for your mercies, your presence there, Lord. We just want to lift you up. You're worthy to be praised. We ask you, Lord, that you will continue to be with our families, be with our friends, be with us there, Lord, as we step into this week, this untried week, this undetermined week. I ask you, Lord, that you will help us to do the best that we can, make the best effort to see your face, to do the best that we can. Father, we thank you and we love you. In Christ's name. All right. With everything, there is a challenge. Every sports game that we watch, every politician, there's always a challenge and a challenger. There's always someone that's stepping in to challenge someone else's. I remember watching a documentary some time back. And this documentary was speaking about lions. Lions have one of the most structured families in all of the animal kingdom. See, lions, they have the main lion, the king. You have the wife. The wife does everything. The lion, the larger lion just kind of sits around, chills, doesn't do much. Let me see. Hold on. I may have to shut this light off because this light is actually bothering me a lot. So let's see how this looks without the light. Might be a little too dark. Okay. It's a little better. Whew. The mother lion often does all of the killing, all of the hunting, takes care of the children. The father kind of sits around lazy, eats a portion for himself, and then goes back. But when it comes to any intruders, that father lion has to rise up and has to scare those intruders away from his pride. Now, there was a documentary, and the documentary was showing how a father lion, or the actual father lion, was laying there and everything. His cubs was playing around with him and everything like that. And then a younger, stronger lion emerged. Now, this lion doesn't have a pride of his own. And in the animal kingdom, there's two things that can happen in this situation. The older lion gets killed by the younger lion, and the younger lion takes over the pride, or the older lion fights off the younger lion, and the younger lion has to go and find his own. So this challenger emerges, and as this challenger emerges, the bigger lion, the older lion, rolls again, and they roar. First, they size each other up by sound. They want to make sure, they want to see who has the larger sound, who has the louder voice. So as one is yelling, the other one is yelling as well. They want to see who's going to be able to withstand the other. Very interesting when you think about it. Very interesting when you think about it. The type of relationship, the type of dynamic these two lions have against each other. As the two of them are going head to head, yelling and screaming at each other, going back to back, the younger lion takes charge, runs after the older lion because he wants to now test his ability. And the two of them scrap, yelling, screaming, clawing, biting. At the end of this challenge, there's two things that can happen. The older lion is defeated. The younger lion is pushed back. This particular documentary showed the older lion prevailing against the younger, stronger lion. As the younger, stronger lion made his way out and left, walked away defeated, bloody, bruised, and battered, the older lion prevailed and stood tall. Now, this older lion may not have been ready for a challenge that day, but he has to be always ready to answer the call of a challenge. There is, at any time, there could be a challenge where he has to step up. He has to listen and respond to the challenge. See, in our spiritual life, we have to be able to listen to the challenge, to respond to the challenge. Sometimes we may not be ready for the challenge. We may not be ready to respond to a challenge, but we have to be ready to adhere to it. Now, this is something that we need to deal with and face for ourselves on our own. Nobody's going to challenge someone for you on your behalf. Nobody's going to fight your battles. You have to be willing to fight your own battles. You have to be willing to take that step forward. You have to be willing. If you're not willing to do that, then the challenger, you, might as well just give up. And what would be the point of life if you give up in everything that challenges you? What would be the point of you throwing in the towel every time a challenge gets in your face? Sometimes you may be in school and you might get a subject that you just don't like. Maybe you get a test that looks like a challenge to you. Maybe you didn't prepare for this test. You can't run away from the test because the test is going to affect your grades. You have to take on that challenge. Let's say you want to learn how to drive a car, you want to get your license because you want to be on the road and you want to be able to get from point A to point B. You cannot be intimidated by the road itself. You have to step up to the challenge. You have to get on that road. You have to drive. You have to understand the traffic laws. You have to do all of those things on the road. You can't allow yourself to throw in the towel just yet. 2 Timothy 2 verse 15 says, "Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth." In other words, what it's saying is that you must always show yourself to be ready for the challenge. You must prepare your mind to be challenged. There are times that a challenge might appear to you, and you might say to yourself, yeah, I can handle that challenge. I can definitely handle that challenge because I know I have the tools, I have what it takes. I am ready to take on any and all challenges. But then the challenge emerges, and you realize that it was too much for you to handle. You bit off more than you can chew. When that happens, then what do you do? What do you do when that happens? Do you bite the bullet? Do you say, all right, well, maybe it's not maybe I can't do anything about this. Maybe I'm just gonna have to throw in the towel. Maybe I'm just gonna have to run away from this challenge. You can't run away from every challenge. The minute you decide to run away from every challenge, the minute you decide to run and hide from every challenge, you will not have a life to live, because everything in life will always scare you and hide and make you hide in your shell. I remember as a kid there was a story of a turtle. The turtle ran from every challenge that was presented to him. The turtle ran from every single challenge, and the reason why this turtle ran from every challenge is because the turtle didn't have enough faith in himself. The turtle didn't have enough faith that he would be successful, because he was too busy cooped up in his shell. Because this turtle was cooped up in his shell, every time he stuck his head out, there was something there and he felt challenged, so he hid back in his shell. The turtle made a life for himself in his shell when there was a world to explore, while the other turtles stuck their head out and they moved through life slowly, but they moved through life. This particular turtle decided to stay exactly where he wanted to be, inside of his shell, because he knew that this was the safest place for him to be, which was inside of his shell. This morning, I want us to challenge ourselves. Challenge yourself to do something different today. Challenge yourself to do something new. The best challenge that one person can ever make is the type of challenge that shows your ability. No problem, Mom. I'll do that. The verse that we just read was 2 Timothy 2, verse 15. 2 Timothy 2, verse 15. And that verse again was, do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. There was a movie called Rocky 4. And Rocky 4 was a great film. I'm a huge Rocky fan, if you didn't know. Huge Rocky fan. And it's so fitting to me. I'm just gonna go off script just for a second. Rocky 4 presented a challenge to Rocky, just like any Rocky movie, but this particular challenge was something insurmountable. You see, this challenge was answered by Apollo Creed, one of his friends, a former boxer that he boxed with. And these two, he challenged this Russian. This Russian is 6'5", 2 something, big guy. And Apollo responded to the challenge because he wanted to prove to himself that he could still answer those type of challenges, but he also wanted to answer and show that the type of patriot he was. You see, he was a patriot because he stepped into the, how you doing, Nyjah? Nyjah? Good to see you. He stepped into the fray because he wanted to prove that Americans weren't scared and weren't afraid of Russian power. So while they were sizing each other up in the ring, there was a physical challenge that was happening as well, a boxing match. And during this boxing match, unfortunately, Apollo wasn't able to survive through it. If I spoiled the movie for you, I do apologize. Hi, Nana. 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 Hola. See, but that whole entire movie was all about challenges. After that part, Rocky challenged that Russian and he challenged his body to go to the limit. He challenged himself because he wanted to show and prove that one, he was going to avenge his fallen comrade. Two, he was going to defend his country, and three, he wanted to prove a point. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. My eyes are bothering me this morning, but I'm doing good. A challenge. See, even though this was a movie, this movie played a very, very important role in the Cold War back in the 80s. See, during this time, Russia and the United States were both trying to rise to power. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, it's been, I don't know. I just woke up and it's like I'm gonna drop some Visine in my eyes. Hopefully, it just clears up by the rest of the day. I need my eyes today. So during this time, Russia and the United States were going back and forth, and they were going back and forth because both of them was trying to prove one was stronger than the other. One was rising to nuclear power, and the two of them were threatened by each other. So they both challenged each other. So this movie depicted that same challenge. And it was because of this movie, with other things, that kind of reversed the trajectory for Cold War. That was good. But there was a challenge that had to be met. There was a challenge that had to be responded to. You know, it's interesting because this year, Creed, the movie with Michael B. Jordan, he's playing the son of Apollo who died in Rocky IV. And he is facing off against Ivan Drago's son. So it's very interesting where they're going to take this story because this is a challenge that doesn't need to be met, but it needs to be answered. It's a challenge that doesn't need to be sought after, yet still he wants to challenge it. It's going to be interesting to see where they go. But everybody has to be ready for a challenge. When you wake up and you get ready for work, there is a challenge that you have to appear to. If you work with customer service, you are challenged every single day. I remember at my previous job, my first day on the job, after training, after going through different types of calls, I was ready to face off against the customers. So there was a customer that called, the first call that came in the line. I answered the phone, pleasant, chipper. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for calling Vonage. My name is, how may I help you? You know, that's how I had to say. And this person came on the line blasting, guns drawn, full blazing. Let me tell you what you people did. You blah, 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 blah. Now, when you deal with a customer like that, you can't sound nervous. You can't be fumbling over your words because they are going to eat you alive. They are stepping to you and they are challenging you right off the bat. So you're saying to yourself, okay, all right, well, I understand. I can help you. Let me look in your account. You don't have my account up, blah, 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 blah. Now, some people get intimidated, and I've seen people get intimidated to where they just put down the headset, they start crying, and they go home. They can't handle that. But me, I'm the type of person that likes a challenge. I like to be challenged. I like to step to a challenge. I like to not only step to a challenge, but I like to take on a challenge. And if I'm defeated in that challenge, I learn from my mistakes. I learn what caused me to be defeated, and I act upon it, and I do better next time. So I remember I was listening to this guy going on and on and on and on and on. And then I finally said, okay, sir, well, I understand that you're upset. I understand you're frustrated. Understand this, though. I'm just getting this call for the first time. I'm just hearing your issue for the first time. I have not been following your issue, nor have I been watching your issue. So your issue is brand new to me. I understand it's old to you. but you have to allow me a chance to get into your account, look at all the details, look at the notes, look at the financial reports, and then I'll be able to get back to you. I'll be able to help you out. But you have to give me a chance to help you out. If you don't want to give me a chance to help you out, then you're just going to be spinning your wheels all day on the phone with me, and I'll be just sitting there listening to you. But I can't help you if you don't allow me to. See, I had to be stern. I had to step to that challenge. See, once I stepped to that challenge, his tune changed. He said, listen, it's not you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at your company. I said, and I understand that. You have every right to be mad at the company if we did you wrong. But give me a chance to do right by you. So I was able to get in the account. I saw what the problem was. I fixed it. Wham, bam, no problem. Afterwards, he apologized profusely. Listen, I'm sorry. I had a wrong day. My kids, going into his whole spiel. And I'm telling him, I'm like, listen, man, it's all right. At the end of the day, you had to get out your pain, your anguish, your emotions. You had to get all that out. At the end of the day, you were frustrated. At the end of the day, you were mad. And I get why you're mad. I get why you're frustrated. I get why you're fuming. But I want you to also understand that we're here to help you. So if something was wrong in your eyes, we're here to give you some support. That's why we're here. Now, this is one example, but I'm sure you guys have many examples of how you've been challenged. Maybe you were challenged by your spouse. Maybe you were challenged by your kids. Maybe you used to be challenged by your parents. And how did you respond to those challenges? Did you fight back? Did you cower? Or did you respond in kind? Meaning, did you not back down from that challenge? Philippians 4 verse 6. Philippians 4 verse 6 says, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. Oftentimes, a challenge will cause you to be anxious. When something challenges you, when something is right in your face, it causes your heart to pump faster, your blood to boil. You start to get you start to get anxious. That's what happens when you're about to fight. You start to get riled up. You start to get, you have all this testosterone or you have all this, not energy, adrenaline. All this adrenaline is pumping. Everything is going on right now. Everything is going so fast. Everything is becoming a blur. And you keep telling yourself that, yeah, I'm going to rip right through this person. I'm going to fight this person. I'm going to get to this person. And then you get to that point where you're ready to fight. And then you just go ahead and fight. Who's ever been in a fight before? I'm happy to say that throughout my years of high school, grade school, I've never been in a one-on-one fight. I've been in something called a fight in second grade, but I just put my friend in a headlock. I don't consider that to be a fight. I've been in brawls, like big fights, like everybody's fighting. I've been in stuff like that, but never a one-on-one fight. So I wouldn't know what takes place. I wouldn't know what takes place in a fight. I wouldn't know what happens during a fight. I feel like a fight, fighting a person is much like throwing fists and seeing which fist connects and seeing which one goes down. But we're not here to talk about fighting skills. We're here to talk about being challenged. My question for you this morning is, are you going to step to the challenge? Are you going to step to the challenge in your life? Are you going to step to a challenge that's going to help you to make better choices, that's going to help you make stronger decisions? Are you going to allow yourself to be challenged? Some people want to run away from a challenge because they're scared for what that challenge is going to do. They're scared for what that challenge is going to present itself with. And because they're scared of a challenge, they often will make up excuses as to why they cannot take on that challenge, take on that challenger. See, I've always been the type not to run away. Maybe you are. Maybe you are the type to run away from a challenge. Maybe you don't want to be challenged. Maybe you don't want someone to expose you. Maybe you don't want that in life. But guess what? When we walk with God, we are always going to be challenged. We are always going to be challenged because it is a part of our mystique. It is a part of our lifestyle. We are going to be challenged. It's not a bad thing to be challenged. It's a good thing. Being challenged is going to help you. See, I want to challenge you this week because I want you to be a better person. I want you to be a stronger person. I want you to be able to look the challenger in the face, the challenger being the devil, and say that you're not going to cower away. You're not going to back down. Give me your best shot. Give me your best shot. I'm not going to run away. I'm not going to back down, but I'm going to stand tall. I'm going to keep moving forward. You're not going to slow me down, devil. The devil would want you to believe. He would want you to believe that you don't have what it takes to answer the challenge. That you don't have what it takes to step up to the challenge. The devil would have you believe that you don't have the will, that you don't have the strength, you don't have the endurance, you don't have the skill. The devil would have you believe that you are not worthy. My question for you this morning, is he right? Is he right? Is the devil right in what he's telling you? Are you the type to just take the challenge, see the challenge, and run away from it? Because you can't run away from the devil. The devil's always going to try to find you. He's always going to try to look for you. He's going to try to hit you when you turn your back and when you're not expecting. He's always going to try to see you and take you down. He's always going to knock you over. He's going to run you over because that's what the devil does. That's what the devil always tries to do. He wants you to feel defenseless. He wants you to feel that you ain't got no chance. You ain't got a dog in this fight. That's how the devil wants you to think. That's what he wants you to believe. But what do you believe? Do you believe you have what it takes to step to the challenge? Do you believe you have what it takes to step forward, to step up? Do you believe you have what it takes? Victoria, how you doing? Good to see you. Are you from Russia? Good to see you. Are you willing to step forward? Are you willing to step up for the challenge? Are you willing? I am often encouraged when I see the good works of people, when I see people fighting, being challenged academically, challenged physically, challenged emotionally. The challenge for you this morning, the challenge for you this morning is to say hello to a person you've seen every single day, or you've seen often enough, but you've never said anything to them before. See, we do have people like that. Sometimes we take the bus, we go to work. There are some people that we see every single day. We pass them, but we never say hello. We never greet them and say, good morning, how was your weekend? How was your day? How was your night? How are you? And because we don't ask those questions, because we don't do those things, it just seems as though that we're just people floating through life. So the challenge for you this morning is to say hello to someone that you've seen every single day. Believe it or not, that's a hard challenge. Seems easy enough, but it's a hard challenge. Some of us might not be able to handle that. Some of us might be scared to do that. This weekend was a challenge to me. And I'm not the type to run from a challenge. But this weekend was definitely a challenge to me because I had to go camping and bring the children from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. Every time I go camping is a challenge. Even though I've gone camping so many times, I understand the ropes. I understand what I have to do when I go camping. But every now and again, it gets tough because I want to make sure that I am doing right by them. I want them to feel that they are experiencing something different when they go camping. Every time they go camping, I want them to experience something new. I want them to feel that they have a new story to tell. Every camping trip can't be the same. So I always want to make sure that the children understand the importance of camping and that they understand the importance of teamwork. Now, I remember a few years back, I challenged myself as a leader. There's an event that happens once every 5 years, and children from all over the world come to this one event to go camping for a whole week. I said to myself that not only do I want to take this group of kids, I want to be the largest set of kids to leave from my church to go to this camping event. I wanted to have our drum corps be the first drum corps to represent New Jersey Conference, to be up there in Wisconsin. I gave myself these challenges. I wrote them down on a piece of paper. I put them on my wall and I looked at them and I said to myself, no matter how much I get tired, no matter how much I get sick, no matter how much I get frustrated, no matter how much I want to just say, you know what, forget it, throw my hands up and walk away. I said that I wasn't going to do any of that because I wanted to make sure that I was going to meet that challenge. I wanted to make sure that that challenge wasn't going to defeat me, but I was going to defeat that challenge. And I stepped up on that challenge. I made sure that I took 22 kids all the way from New Jersey to Wisconsin. I made sure that I took 8 of those kids who were my drum corps members. I brought them all the way to Wisconsin. I remember that we had to bring our equipment. I remember we had to practice every night. I remember when they said, hey, New Jersey Conference is ready to line up. And where our drum corps was, we were in the front of the line. We were representing New Jersey. New Jersey has never had a drum corps ever. We were the first. I remember after that parade, we came back. The kids were exhausted. And I sat down in my chair. And a tear ran down my face. Why that tear ran down my face? Because I felt victory. See, a challenge is one thing, but when you are victorious against a challenge, and we're going to talk about that later on this week, I felt accomplished. I felt good because I gave myself a challenge, and I went up and I met it. But there are times that we are challenged and we don't meet the challenge. What then? What do you do when you get up and you don't meet the challenge that you have put out for yourself? The worst feeling that anybody can feel is failure. Failure is probably the worst feeling that a person can feel. This morning, your challenge is to say hi to a person that you have seen that you've never seen say hi to. It could be your bus driver, it could be your Uber driver, it could be a coworker. RB, what's up, man? It could be anybody. It could be anybody that you have seen, that you've met, but you've never said hi. That's your challenge this morning. I want you to feel good about this challenge because I know that you can step up to it. I know that you can meet this challenge. You know how I know you can meet this challenge? Because you have what it takes. You have the skill. I am challenging you. Because again, if you cower against every challenge in your life, if you run away from every challenge in your life, then you might as well be hidden under a rock for the rest of your life because you are never going to be able to move forward in life because you're always kept back because of challenges. You're always running backwards for challenges where you should be running forward. When you see a racer never runs backwards because he or she is scared of the challenge that's in front of him. A runner sees the hurdles and runs towards the hurdles. They don't run away from the hurdles. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Oof. Sometimes when you go camping, come back with stuff, but it's all good. The racer sees hurdles and they run towards the hurdles. They don't run away from the hurdles. And that's because they see the challenge and they're going to meet that challenge. They may run for a little bit before they get to the challenge, but then when they see the challenge clearer in their eyesight, they poise their body, they ready their mind, and they know when to pivot, leap, and jump over that hurdle. And once they cleared the first hurdle, they understand, their body understands how to clear the rest of the hurdles. And they start to clear hurdles, and then they start to run. That's why I love watching hurdles. Out of all the racing that is done at the Olympics, I love watching the hurdle run because it tells me, it reminds me of how we should meet our challenges every single day. It tells me how we should see our challenges, how we should run. Raymond, how you doing? How we should run without ceasing, how we should keep pushing forward, how we should keep moving forward. I hope this morning you understand sassiness, what's up? I hope you understand the challenges that are afforded. I hope you understand why there are challenges in life. As we close, I want to repeat the challenge for you this morning. This week is all about challenges. I challenge you. That's what this week is about. Challenges. Your challenge this morning, if you so choose to accept it, is to say hello to someone that you've seen every day that you've never said hello to. That is your challenge today. All right, let's do our roll call. Over here, Rosie, good to see you this morning. Sister Guy, Mother Marisol, Sister Nellie, blessings to you guys. Thank you for joining this morning. Over here, Live Me, Sassiness 80, good to see you. For God and Jesus, LS, blessings my sister. Victoria, good to see you. DJ Maxim, blessings, man. Naja, or Niga, good to see you this morning. Nana, blessings, good to see you. Yadi Scott, good to see you this morning. Tito, blessings, my brother. Love Diamond, good to see you this morning. Rodrigo, good to see you. Fire, good to see you. Cam, so I don't get fined. Good to see you. Rando, good to see you. Poppy, blessings, man. Good to see you. Ride Pricks, good to see you. Irish, good to see you. I got everybody. Princess Queen, blessings, good to see you. We're closing. We're ending up. We're ending right now. Actually, have to jump on to another line right now, another prayer line. Yeah. All right. So let's pray. Father in heaven, we want to thank you again for your love and your mercy. We want to thank you, Lord, for allowing us this opportunity this morning to spend time in your word. Father God, as we look to the challenges of life, as we look to the challenges around us, we ask you, Lord, that you will continue to be that person in our lives to challenge us, dear Father God, to help us in our challenges. That as we look towards the goal, help us to get to the goal, dear Father, despite all the obstacles and all the things that are littered in our path. Help us, Lord, to manage through it and to get through it, dear Lord. Father, we just want to lift you up and thank you for your mercies and your guidance. We love you, Lord, in Christ's name. Amen. All right, everyone. Ooh. Once again, everybody, you guys have a great day. Have a blessed day. Have a strong day. See you guys on the next broadcast. Take care, y'all. All right. 1 second.